John Dee 101, Part 1, The Early Years. John Dee was born at 4:02 p.m. on the 13th of July 1527, 51 degrees and 32 seconds north of the equator. That's about the latitude of London. We know this from his birth chart. There's no official record of his birth, no longitude was recorded, as the Greenwich meridian was only established in 1851. The position of the sun and the date on the chart point to Dee being born in or around the City of London. He was the first and only surviving child of Roland and Jane Dee. Roland Dee was a Welshman, and John in later years would claim to be a descendant of Rhodri the Great, a 9th century Welsh monarch. Roland was a textile merchant, a mercer, and also occupied a position in Henry VIII's court in Greenwich Palace as a gentleman's sewer. Henry VIII was born in Greenwich, and it was his main residence. John Dee attended Chelmsford Chantry School until the age of 15. Dee went on to study at St John's College, Cambridge in 1542, gaining a BA in 1546 or so. In 1547, at the age of 19, he became an original Fellow of Trinity College. It was said that when he was at Trinity, his enthusiasm was so great he worked for 18 hours a day, allowing 4 hours for sleep and 2 for meals. His great passion was mathematics, a subject considered suspicious in some quarters. Mathematics was popularly associated with the magical black arts. The term calculating was synonymous with conjuration. Pythagoras, one of the founding figures of mathematics, was considered to be a magician. Pythagoras believed that numbers had inherent powers because mathematical concepts were easier to regulate and classify than physical ones. They had greater actuality. They were more true. Pythagoras pointed out that the first 4 integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, expressed not only the most basic elements of geometry, the point, the line, the triangle, the solid, but also the harmonic ratios underlying both music and cosmic proportions. Ideas like this inspired other thinkers to search for significant numbers, construct numerical hierarchies, assess the meanings of the number of the elements and the number of the planets, count angels on the head of pins, and other such things. Dee loved all of this numerological cosmology, and he undertook a dramatic demonstration of the power of number. Dee mounted a production of a play called Peace by the 5th century Greek playwright Aristophanes. The opening scene concerns the hero's attempts to reach Zeus's heavenly palace. The hero tries ladders, but they keep toppling. He finally ascends on the back of a giant dung beetle, a scarab, a ride so scary that the hero nearly forms food for the beetle. Dee wanted the moment to be as miraculous as possible and constructed an illusion with a mechanical beetle which leapt from the stage in the main hall of Trinity and lifted the hero to the eaves. Like a member of the magic circle, he did not reveal how he made the creature fly around the stage. However, in one of his writings on the subject of thaumatology, he did allude to using pneumatics, mirrors and springs. Thaumatology is the study of miracles. Dee probably invented the term. He believed that miracles could be explained using maths. Many witnesses did not believe that Dee's practical effect was an illusion and said that the scarab actually levitated and that Dee was assisted by wicked powers. Dee's fascination with astronomy first flourished at Trinity in 1547, and he would spend many an evening from then on until the end of his life under the stars, making observations and measurements. Dee's appetite for knowledge of the secrets of the universe was insatiable, and he felt that England did not provide the best intellectual viewpoint to study this. He decided to head for the Low Countries, where the Renaissance was in full flower. Termed low because much of the land was below sea level, comprising what is now Belgium, Luxembourg and the Netherlands, they were rich commercial centres prone to foreign influences. Dee called this the intertraffic of the mind. Protestantism from Germany, Renaissance science and art from Italy, navigational innovations from Portugal, and imperial forces from Spain, whose King Charles V ruled the Low Countries, all mixed and matched together. Dee arrived at the University of Louvain near Brussels on the 24th of June 1548. He enrolled in a law course for leisure, but spent the majority of his time with the mathematicians, particularly Frisius, the university's professor of medicine and mathematics. Frisius pioneered the use of triangulation in land surveying. This method relied on a new technique of trigonometry, which was almost unknown in England. Under Frisius's influence, the university was caught up with scientific measurement. There were workshops making precision measuring instruments, the cross staffs, the astrolabes and the like. In one of these workshops, Dee met the cartographer Gerard Mercator, who was working on a series of globes and maps incorporating the discoveries of Columbus. This new geography was revolutionary. Earlier medieval charts showed the Earth as a disk or semicircle comprising 3 continents, often including religious features like the Tower of Babel and the Garden of Eden. Mercator's maps showed a world of 4 continents with a curved surface, projected onto a rectangular map using a mathematical method to enable more accurate navigation. So it was in Louvain that Dee's whole system of philosophising in the foreign manner laid down in its first and deepest roots. He became great friends with Mercator, who gave him a globe of the heavens and a globe of the earth, princely gifts, which were unfortunately stolen from Dee later in his life. Dee dedicated his astronomical work, Propedeumeta Aphoristica, in 1558, to Mercator. Copernicus's heretical concept that the sun rather than the earth was the centre of the universe was seeping into the scientific community since his publication of De Revolutionibus in 1543. Dee and Mercator may have discussed this and were certainly experimenting with concepts of the universe. The standard view of the universe had 8 spheres with 7 planets, including the sun and the moon, and an outer shell carrying the stars. Mercator and Dee came up with a brass theoric comprising of 10 concentric circles. Nothing more is known about this object, as it was stolen from Dee later in his life. Dee was friends with many trailblazing European scientists and philosophers, but he didn't mix with very many English while abroad, with the exception of Sir William Pickering. Sir William Pickering was ambassador to the court of King Charles V in Brussels. Dee would eat at William's house and tutored him in the new mathematical and astronomical techniques. Dee and Pickering would have a long friendship. Pickering would send him books from his foreign postings and also bequeathed Dee a black mirror. Dee was making his mark in the Low Countries. He was at the centre of the political and intellectual world. Charles V offered him a position at court, the first of 5 such offers from Christian emperors. Dee would turn them all down. Maybe he feared exile from an increasingly Protestant England if he joined a Catholic court. Maybe he was hoping for an offer from the English court. By 1551, he was lecturing in Paris to packed houses. Work offers were coming in from monarchs, and he was starting to build a goodly collection of books. And John Dee returned to England, aged 24.